Welcome to the Flyover for the second annual Las Vegas Throwdown, generated by Grit Discs. We'll start with a few standard rules of play throughout the course. All golf greens, play as out of bounds. All bunkers, sand traps, play as hazard, play your shot where it lies with a one-stroke penalty. All tee pads for other holes, play as OB unless otherwise stated. Some of the fencing has barbed wire. 2-meter relief is authorized for player safety, and fencing without barbed wire plays as standard 1-meter relief. Please note, the pars for each hole are color-coded based on the pools described on the registered players page on Disc Golf Scene, blue, red, and green, and can be seen on the aerial view of each hole. Hole 1 is a 427-foot par 3 or 4 based on pool. There is a mandatory left of the second light pole. The drop zone will be from the left side of the mandatory. There is a sand trap that plays as hazard, as well as an OB golf green and fence line. Hole 2 is a 346-foot par 3 for all pools. There is an OB golf green and an OB fence line long and left of the basket. Hole 3 is a 555-foot par 3, 4, or 5. There is a fenced-in section on the left side that plays as OB, and an OB golf green short of the basket. Hole 4 is a 441-foot par 3 or 4. There is a fenced-in section on the left side that plays as OB and an out-of-bounds golf green short of the basket. The fence to the right side does not play as OB. Play your next throw normally without a penalty. Hole 5 is a 175-foot par 3 with an OB fence line on the right, and the concrete encircled area short and left of the pin also plays as OB. Hole 6 is a 206-foot par 3. With an OB fence line on the right, water on the left, and an OB painted line running from the water's edge to long of the basket. Hole 7 is a 165-foot par 3, with an OB fence line right and long of the basket, OB water long of the basket, and an OB painted line on the left. Hole 8 is a 195-foot par 3. There is OB water short and the ravine and right plays as OB. There is also an OB painted line long of the basket. If your disc does not cross in bounds from the tee, you must re-tee with a one-stroke penalty. Hole 9 is a 205-foot par 3. There is an OB fence line right and long of the basket, an OB concrete picnic area, and the ravine and left plays as OB. Hole 10 is a 225-foot par 3. The ravine plays as OB through the painted area after the bridge. The fence line long and right also plays as OB. Hole 11 is a 197-foot par 3 with an OB fence line right and the painted line long of the basket. Hole 12 is a 250-foot par 3. There is a double mandatory through the light pole and the tree to the left. Look for the signs on the course. The parking lot, concrete path, and playground play as OB, as well as the painted line and the fence line long and right of the basket. Hole 13 is a 183-foot par 3 with a double mandatory between the first tree on the right and the second tree to the left of it. Look for the mandatory signs. The fence to the right and painted line on the left play as OB. A rope line right and long of the basket plays as hazard. Hole 14 is a 449-foot par 4, 5, or 6. There is a mandatory right of the light pole, as well as OB concrete pads with picnic tables, and an OB fence line long, right, and left of the basket. Remember to take 2-meter relief if there's barbed wire on the fence. Hole 15 is a 313-foot par 3. There are OB golf greens, as well as the concrete tee pad for the next hole. The fence to the right of the tee is not OB. Hole 16 is a 401-foot par 3 or 4. The sand traps play as hazard and the golf green is OB. Also, hole 15 and hole 17 tee pads play as OB. Hole 17 is a 440-foot par 3 or 4. There is an OB fence line to the left and 2 OB golf greens. The sand traps to the right play as hazard. Hole 18 is a 1,025-foot par 5 or 6. The bunkers play as hazard, there are multiple golf greens that play as out of bounds, and an OB fence line long and left of the basket. The tee pad of normal 9 and 18 has a river across it marked by rope and plays as a hazard. Play your shot where it lies with a 1-stroke penalty. Thank you to all our hole sponsors for this event. We appreciate your support.